You know, sometimes hosna silos are just silo. People are quick to assume house silo. I want to speak to the Kasi girls who are in desperate need of slaying. Kasi girls who are in desperate need of appearing to be Miss Independent. Kamala Mukarabo Dynamite Nyalungu, the leadership that led the leader to the leading lead, the township magistrate. And welcome to the very first episode of Dynamite Unmasked, the pink gown. I want to speak about something that's not going to massage the cochlea. I want to speak about something that's not going to have a message that tiptoes around your ossicles. Those are parts of an ear. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a society that has normalized materialistic things. That has normalized us valuing materialistic things over every other thing. You know, we live in a world where we are so impatient with ourselves. Someone asked me what drives me. And for the longest time, I struggled answering that question until recently. What drives me is the fact that there's no one to rescue me. You know, I don't come from a rich family. I don't have a rich aunt. I don't have a brother or a sister, an older sibling, someone whom, when I have a problem, I can transfer it to. And I know there are a lot of us who are like that. But you've become so impatient with yourself because you are even consuming content on platforms that allow you to compare yourself with other people. You know, your Instagrams. Social media has normalized valuing materialistic things over the many things that you have. You are so blessed, but you are failing to recognize it because currently being blessed is not trending. Currently being blessed is not seen as something worth having. Why not? We envy people on social media. We envy people baloring re gotse le bona. You know, we struggles with them. Yes, maybe because kolong hona le mo ba khawatehile mo teng. Wena na ko shiana o re wetse ke latetse ko ngwala prelim yena nanamela Mercedes Benz. Parents have tried to intervene, just to discipline the child. She did not. He wanu shianela prelim, yeno shianela sale ya ko kai or reka whatever. You know? Ge wena o sna ya data o zola ya data yena wa posta ka mo wet or ke mo way. Ka ba di Rolex. And those people make you question whether you have made the right decision. When I'm up pillow, because yes, everyone wants a luxury life. And our families have taught us, or no, go to school and get that for yourself. When which metric dance dress can you hire? You're not a 5 and what you own. Digante higher school. Digante itza kawatako grade 9 as tolabo school. And then after that, only every other thing that you envy as a woman. And no, I'm not speaking about people who come from privileged families who can afford them that life. I'm talking about people who make a conscious decision to sell their souls, to sell their voice, to sell everything that makes them stand out, that makes them rebellious, if I can put it that way, that makes them have a voice. They sell that for that Louis Vuitton bag. They sell that for that sneaker system. Hona le batho ba bang dilo di tsena today. Ka bosho una le sona mara hana paycheck. Gore wa lebella the background ya go gabo ba gotse ba totoba. They were together with your parents. Ba totoba, but they've got that one thing e le reng wena you were told to work hard for. And of course, being exposed to such people makes it very easy for you to question the decisions that you've made mo bophelong ba gago. Before you want to do a compare and contrast between you and that person, understand that there are certain values, there are certain things that are valuable that you have, they've sold to get that Louis Vuitton bag. Freedom of expression. There are people who baloring, they cannot have a voice in relationship. They cannot even negotiate for their health. They cannot negotiate for safe sex because they know whenever they open their mouth, they will offend the very same people that subsidize the lifestyle you envy. They will offend people who make sure that they get that Louis Vuitton bag. If it was brought to you what people give up for those materialistic things that you envy, o tla itlhompha peace. Hona le batho ba bangwe they've got closets tse le reng a di pala le go tswallega, it's all drop a etswallege. Mara hana peace mo bophelong. You know? And because Instagram doesn't show gore ga kena peace, you envy without knowing. No, I have to sacrifice myself to the core for that Louis Vuitton bag. When I at least when you can even negotiate no, Bona they can't do that. They have men dictating what should happen with their bodies. They have abortion. But because a certain man a certain man disturb a life highly family high and his wife. I agree on side chick. You are the trophy girl. There are girls who settle for that. There are girls who settle for losing their voice. They don't have a say in anything. When they're in relationships, they can't even freely post their partners because their partner is someone else's husband. When are you envying? And these people have like a freedom of expression to a point where even on their social media platforms, it's either they keep quiet, the video has no sound, or when there's sound, it's music, and they do this. Because they don't want you to pick up, there's a man subsidizing that life. Once again, context is very important. I'm not speaking about people who have got rich aunts, people who the family can afford. Or, I'm speaking about people who make a conscious decision. For that Louis Vuitton bag, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. You have a lot of things where now as much as you see that as a disadvantage, a hindrance to your success, you've got a lot of things that those people, those girls, those girls are trying to conform to expectations of men of authority, men of power, of influence, of money for materialistic things. They were not patient enough to go to school and get them the right way. Sometimes it's shocking. It's heartbreaking to see what other girls settle for once you have your own money and you buy that thing and you're like, Kante, this thing is very cheap. Kante, this thing is this cheap. But because those girls have cut themselves short enough for itomile basetlela for Savannah. Next time basetlela for Moet. Next time basetlela for mara go kono itekela Savannah today. O bona price ya Savannah. For Moet you can kind of go through it. You can work around it. But ge ba thomile ka go rekela Savannah, you will think every other beverage is unattainable. Ka mkho wena o ka tirelang independently. Wena wa do. Yeah? When I really please because you are comparing yourself to Magdalene, to Margrethe, who lives a lavish lifestyle. And you wonder, where did you go wrong? You question yourself, why did I choose to write my metric? So Sonia can get this life as I feel. You do not know the sacrifices. You do not know the worst things that this person goes through. Netfella, for Versace, for Fendi, for Louis Vuitton, for whatever. Those things are expensive. Moto hana paycheck. But they own those things. We put so mara when mara auna salary affidavit. But you own the how, biang. There's someone behind it. And that someone has so much power that they take even the basic human freedom of expression. It's free, I get. According to your freedom charter, that freedom, the Bill of Rights, you've got the right to freedom of expression, but people cannot exercise it because they've decided to sign non-disclosure forms. They've decided to sell their selves, to sell their souls for materialistic things. They've got everything. Mara gabana confidence. They've got everything, mara. It's happy, man. Has a poster pictures nang filter. I feel good enough. Hakas post the picture as if it a certain number of likes. I feel good enough. There are people who rely so much, who are heavily dependent on other people's validation because they've cut themselves short. Yeah? They're shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah? For what? Materialistic things. They can't do anything without people saying, no, it's nice. Yeah? I just post the picture as a naked because she should go through extremes to get people's validation. But followers, subscribers, viewers. And this is because o programile tlhaloganyo gore no, everything I should do should please that man so that I'm able to get that manicure, that iPhone, that whatever. And go khotlo kwa yang yena o tsama approve point. Yeah? Gore wena o tsama o prove a point. Gore no, I'm independent. I'm like this. I'm like this. Go na le ngwanetse go na le dipleke tse le reng ga di itsege. But then when you go there, you get people of influence, people of power, people in leadership positions doing things to young girls. And I saw these girls, they freely sign up for it because they want to be trendy on Instagram. When I do, such careers have a lifespan, a very short, 4 to 5 years, 10 years down the line, 10 years down the line, because the worst thing about it, there's always an it girl, the new person, the new kid in the block, new blood. When I would compare, I was having a conversation with one of my friends who was joking and saying, because every time you get here, Chomiak, because we are always here. And as we further went, we said, as much as we do this, we do it out of our pockets. You're not offending anyone. Instagram video what I want without offending anyone. And if I offend someone, I do so because I don't worry, happy I've offended someone. I'm not gonna get my next heel. I'm not gonna get my what, because I'm not depending on someone to do that for me. About talk about the rich aunt, about talk about the rich cousins and people who will subsidize our lives. We know if I'm not gonna work towards solving this problem myself, no one else will. Someone asked me what drives me, and what drives me is because I don't have anyone to rescue me. I don't have a big brother. I don't have a big sister. So whatever problem I have today, financially, emotionally, academically, if I do not deal with it myself, tomorrow it's still my problem. It's still my problem. And what frustrates me is the fact that there are people with the same problems and they've got the Messiah. They've got people who rescue them. They've got to water. But at what expense? At what expense? Yeah? You are willing to sell yourself for Louis Vuitton. You are willing to dilute your power for Fendi. You are willing to reduce yourself to just being a trophy person. When I have no opinion, you're not thinking about leading in boardrooms and having an opinion and saying, no, I'm running with this project and I'm going to head it as a woman. You are thinking materialistic things. You want to conform to the norms of society. Or no, at this age, when you should be independent, you should be having your things. Skat kawad. People cannot negotiate things that are so important because they've killed that voice and sold it to a man who gives them luxury. They can't behave normally because they know they're so restricted. But they can't even post their male friends because a certain man is going to see that and they're going to be offended. But that man has a wife, has children. O khatla gore motho o na le Louis Vuitton mara hana paycheck. O khatla gore motho o na phone e so. Yes, it comes with frustration. The fact that when you have to save up, the fact that when you have to hire that dress, it's frustrating. But channel that frustration into positivity. Channel that frustration, but you don't lose that. There are systems already set in place that already expect you as a woman to cut yourself short and use your body, not your mind. Use your body to escalate and get positions of power. And even when you are there, there's a monopoly. You are still dictated. You are still dictated to. You can't freely say, let me think about it. I'm not choice. When they say, I want you to be ready at 12, you need to be ready at 12. Whether when you have a family function, whether your mother is dying of cancer, whether they don't care, I guess they pay for your life. And you've normalized that life to a point where Louis Vuitton. O ka se phele ho sa apara Fendi, o ka se phele ho sa apara Versace. Ne, man, those people will always be there. And we're now getting to do things in a way that you will be the one being able to offer yourself those things. Don't let social media be dictating of what happens in your life, because it presents to you what it thinks it's normal and the standard way of doing things. Love yourself so much. Value what you have. They've got sneakers, it's one no shoes owner. Maragana peace, calling Hualwewa. Eh? Anyone in the family. Home. It's not home. Because everything I consume, every materialistic thing I consume, let that guilt conscience. No, man. This thing, you know? And because we are trying, people are trying to advise you, oh my God, the whole world is against them. No, but at the end of the day, only those things, and you are empty. You are empty inside, you are empty ligamo, because once they take those things, uwile. This is what we say, uwile. Because now the materialistic things that way now, no, you can go from this car to this car, here you can buy this and this. I decided thing. Once all that is taken away from you, and again, I'm stressing on the importance of context. There are people who do that for an ultimate goal. Maybe I want to be educated. If I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to be educated. What's your ultimate goal? At what cost? You putting your body on your line. Eh? On top of you. For Louis Vuitton. Eh? And of course, you don't see Mkhalabe. Even on the Instagram, very tricky. The Louis Vuitton story do man. Eh? They say, how can not on a McDonald's? They had take a Big Mac or ja or bottle or khora. Because no one, it doesn't affect anyone's budget. And Zazilo nyoko jang to a fancy restaurant, you budget for it, you get it. Go rapela bophelo rapela patience, man. Go rapela bophelo rapela gore o be le matla gore o kgone yemela your time. Ska jaga too much to a point where you are selling your soul for materialistic things. Uska jagela too much to a point where you are willing to sacrifice every inch of your body. Every inch of your body. Kira le voice. Net fella for materialistic things. So next time uruma, there are people who have abortions, basabatle, as a choice, they take them there, they force them to do it. Because there are people who cannot negotiate safe sex. There are people who do not have a say of what happens to their bodies. When at least you can choose if you want a tattoo or not, you want a piercing or not. There are people who cannot because they chose to sell their souls for materialistic things. Independent woman. At the expense of what? At the expense of what? And this is why school is useless. Because now we've normalized this thing of comparing ourselves to what Instagram is feeding us. Hey, when someone posts how many the problems, when someone posts how many the difficulties, wait again, even they won't even tell you, shall you be made aware of what they sacrifice? You will value having a mother. You will value having peace. You will value sleeping without having body pains because nobody toa. Obetelwa gore o postile le mail bestie hey ka Louis Vuitton e go reketseng yona hey go tsere mo ka go beama. This is my money. No seselo. I took you out of the township ranks. Batla go ruga. Ba go rogela Louis Vuitton. Ba go rogela Fendi le Versace. So the next time you want to compare yourself with other people, the next time that slay queen tries to get into your mind, o nagane gabedi gararo. There are many things that you have that are valuable, that we need as a society. Moral fiber ngwanetso, those people do not have because they chose materialistic things. And once again, because peace, I trend, because this is why ukremoto anale everything, mara u depressed. One of the things that make people kill themselves, suicide, everything. Marachana peace. Onale everything. Marachana. Remember, context is very important. I'm stressing on context every time I'm saying this because I know there are many different situations that lead people to do that. Marachana, they've got literally, we can trade lives. So when I onaling peace, osna Louis Vuitton, leboga morena, ke sa boneng gore so tshwanetse. When on a confidence, they can't post hosna filter. They can't wake up in the morning and say, yo, hi guys, welcome. They can't. Because they don't see themselves as enough. They don't value themselves. Baba no kare without a certain thing, I'm not good enough. Natural hair because they don't see themselves as beautiful enough. Who told them? The very same man who subsidized their lives. So the next time you compare yourself, understand the firstborns in the family. With the firstborn, for our siblings. And A, P. There are people who can afford to fail. We can't because are not the option. Like it's a very complete Joe Bona. Materialistic thing. And your voice. Choose your voice. Choose to empower yourself. Choose to be counted amongst pioneers and trailblazers. Choose to not conform to norms. Choose to question norms. Because that will ultimately offer you everything else materialistic. Not now, yes. Maybe not now. Maybe not at the time where you wanted the most. But ultimately, what people are settling for, it's BS. Total BS. The next time you compare yourself to Motomong, understand Otomago A, you're not Tomago S. In closure, Skajisa team.